Okay.
So if you want to refer back to something, we can have it uploaded. And not always uploaded, if it's here and there, we'll upload one, but on our YouTube channel. But yeah.
Okay. Great.
Cool. So go ahead and fill me. You said Scout, right?
Yeah, it's Scout, and he's a 10-month-old Cavapoo.
Okay.
And we had done some training with him right when he was like first came to us. And so like simple commands like sit and stay, like even like roll over, or like you can make this like kind of like sound and he'll play dead. Like he's kind of funny like that. He can do funny little tricks.
Yeah.
But like the essentials like come, he doesn't do it. Like he only comes if you say like closer with a treat and you have treats, or you say like treats and he'll come running. But he's kind of strong-willed. I think he's like a little too alpha for our tastes, as far as like, you know, and we want him to, because we're scared that something's going to happen to him, you know what I mean, that he won't come when we call him. So for safety reasons, it makes us nervous. And then the other thing that we noticed, we haven't been, because of COVID, we haven't been entertaining at all because, you know, because of COVID, but we had some friends over the other day and we put food on a coffee table. And I mean, he went for it like nobody's business. So I haven't like that whole like place or back or those kinds of commands we wanted to work on with him. And then also leash training, right? Like, so he pulls with the leash, he doesn't heel. So we're kind of looking for obedience training for him, you know, safety being the first thing. And then like the annoying things like not eating our food off a table second, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Anything else I should know about Scouts?
No, I mean, we had some issues with him marking for a while, like where he was, but then we did have him neutered, and that has stopped.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's for the most part, you know, but he does have accidents here and there, but it's usually like we kind of know why, like either he hasn't gone out, you know, that kind of a thing. So it's not like he's doing it to be to mark or be disobedient. I think he just had to go.
Okay, I see. 12 months old, correct?
No, 10 months. He was born on the 4th of July. So let's see, I think, 10 months. Yeah, he's 10 months.
Okay. And so he's got like what, just a few more months to like be fully grown, right?
Right.
How much does he like weigh now?
I think he's almost like 16 pounds right now. And I think he's pretty much full grown. They thought he'd be around 16.
Cool. Anything else?
Anything you think of, girls? No.
Cool.
No.
What does life look like with Scout in the future? Like, for example, you just like walking him to the dog park and back home? That's, you need to recall, in the dog park to call him back, and then you go home, or, do you want to take Scouts to like a restaurant, or like an outdoor patio, and then you need him to like lay down until you're done eating and like respect that, and then you're good to go, and then you walk home? Or do you see yourself doing all that and then you go off leash hiking? You want him to like enjoy the woods freely, but then like when you need that that recall, or like that off leash heel, or more off leash trained in the woods, like where do you see yourself with Scout in the future? Like what do you, if you were to have the life you would want, what would that be, in other words?
So there are a couple things. One, so we live in the city and we have a small backyard, but he can fit through the fence as it's currently situated. And so our next door neighbors have a yard there that he really, it's kind of like there's a lot of shrubs over there, and like it's not very well maintained. So there's lots of like disgusting smells that he loves. So he likes to go through the fence, and that's one thing to fix the fence. But also, even if he goes, like, first of all, I'd like him not to go over there, and I'd like to be able to say like back, so that he doesn't go over and that he listens to me. But if he does visit the fence, when I tell him to come, he doesn't come. So like he will run around the yard, and we have to then like bring out the bag of treats and be like, treats, and then he'll come running. So it's that kind of stuff. So that's our city life. We do in the summer, we go up to Wisconsin and we have a really big yard, and it's not fenced. So, you know, we don't know, we haven't been with them yet up there because we didn't have them. Right. So, I would like to have the ability, I'd like him to really be obedient on come, so that I always can make sure that he's nearby. So I think, like, to your point, like he's not going to only be out in the woods necessarily, but it is a large, open area in Wisconsin. So yeah, we definitely want him to be minding us. And then the restaurant thing, sure. Yeah. We'd love to be able to, we've brought him to restaurants, but he's been kind of annoying, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I ask these questions because just to kind of get an idea of, because, I'm not going to give you what you don't need, if you don't,
Mm-hmm.
These fancy little tricks or like obedience stuff that you're like, oh, I don't really use that. But I'd rather have focus on this. Then it's just to avoid giving you something that you don't need,
Right. Yeah.
Kind of get like a good idea of like what you're wanting and what program would be best suited for you and Scout. So yeah, I was just curious. What do you walk Scout on currently? Like, what is it? A flat collar, a harness,
So
prong?
basically right now we have a flat collar, but we've also used the pronged collar, but not for a while. So like that was, I call it the mean collar, the mother's teeth or whatever you call that one.
Yeah.
So yeah, so as he's gotten bigger, we actually have not used that on him. But so it's just a flat collar and a regular leash, like not whatever this is.
Yeah.
Leash. Yeah.
How was he with the prong collar?
Good. Actually he was, don't you think he was good, guys?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. We could go back to that. I was actually wondering about the e-collar, like if that's something that you would recommend.
Yeah. So what do you guys know about the e-collar, or have you guys done research on
A little, very little. So like I know, oops, sorry. I know he's pushing buttons. I know that it doesn't hurt them, that it's not shocking them. I think it buzzes them or something, so that they know. Is it like more annoying to them than hurting them? Is that right? Or do I have that right?
Yeah. So have you ever been to a physical therapist?
Yes.
Have you ever had the TENS unit?
Yeah, I have one of those. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's what e-collar is.
Okay.
The buzzing, if you're referring to that, is like the stimulation of like the muscle movement. Or if you're saying buzzing, you might be, I don't know if you're referring to like the vibrating function, because our collars have stimulation, which is like the TENS unit, like the muscle contractor, and then also a vibrating function on it, but we don't use that at all. Like if we use it, it's just to feel if the e-collar is on.
Okay.
But we use a stimulation. As Jesse likes to put it, it's electric, but not electricity. So, when you send stimulation to your dog with the e-collar, it's not like it goes to their whole body like a shock, it's just
Right.
a little, it contracts whatever it's like the contact points you're touching.
Yeah.
So you can literally see like maybe his like neck twitch or something, but like he won't care. But we need to kind of get to a point where like he does care, and we need to get his focus in. The old style e-collars were, they have, or like cheap ones today, like they have like 10 levels, right? The brand we use has 127. So that
Okay.
10 on those cheap collars and at 127, they're the same power outage. Like they're the same. We just have 117 more breaks so that we can be very specific to the personality of the dog breed, the behavior we're dealing with. Because then the issue with the 5 levels is like, a 2 would get the dog not caring about it, but then a 3 would make the dog yelp, so that's where they had.
Yeah.
And then also it's way more uncomfortable. Those cheaper e-collars, the feeling is more shocking than the Dogtra brand, because the Dogtra, it's high quality professional brand. They use it's meant for hunting dogs. So it's got that range.
What's the brand of it that you're saying? I didn't understand what it is. It's called what?
Dogtra. So DOG, like dog, and
yeah.
TRA, Tra.
Dogtra. Okay.
There we go. Yeah. Jesse's been using that brand for maybe like 15, 20 years, I think. I don't know. But, no issues. He's never had, any issues with it. They're long lasting, batteries forever. Um, you do need to charge it, but it lasts a long time.
Okay.
Waterproof, it's rechargeable, it's durable. Yeah, so um,
And do the dogs wear it all the time or only when they're going outside? Like, how do you do that?
yeah, so it's on when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, if you're gonna go for a walk, it's gonna be on.
Mm-hmm.
If Scout is an angel in the house, then you don't need it.
Yeah.
If you're gonna have guests over and Scout's gonna be a little excited and he's gonna be jumping on them, you would have the e-collar 30 minutes prior. Guests come in, you address the jumping, and if he's fine for the rest of the night, then you can take it off.
Okay.
So for the walks, the reason why you would have it on is because we can't account for life. So we can't, if Scout has never, because he was born on July 4th, right?
Yeah.
So let's say he doesn't really remember fireworks.
Sure. Right.
July 4th comes around, right? You don't have the e-collar on. He's just got the regular flat buckle. Or maybe you got comfortable and now he's off leash and you think, hey, he'll be fine with the fireworks. Firework goes off, it's sometimes dogs go into flight mode. And when they're in flight mode, they're literally thinking, be killed or kill. Like I'm out of here.
Mm-hmm.
With the e-collar, you're able to override that fear and that mindset to get Scout back to you. If you're walking in the city and he for some reason gets spooked or something happens where he breaks out the flat buckle, there's no way to connect to him if you don't have the e-collar on,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to be using it actively, like pressing the button for his whole life. So the more you use it now, the less you use it in the future. So like all the trainers here usually, or at least me, Jesse, our dogs are off leash trained, so we can walk him wherever we want off leash, and they're locked in on us. Are we tapping all the time? No. Jesse will he'll tell me like he'll tap like once every 2 months for something, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
So it's on when you need it. Like I said, if he's an angel in the house, then he doesn't need to wear it. If he's gonna be out in the backyard and he's gonna be in that area or like that area's exposed where he can dig and everything, then you would have it to prevent that from happening.
Okay.
Scout isn't going to wake up one day and be like, you know what, Mom spent a lot of money on me with training. I'm gonna be a good boy for now on,
Yeah.
For animals, they also have a thing called opportunistic behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So an example we like to use for the clients is, usually on the highway, we don't go the speed limit, right? But once we see a cop car, a squad car, everyone slows down. So we like to think the e-collar as like a cop on a collar. So some cases, and it's not all dogs, but some dogs will be completely different when the e-collar's on, like they'll behave. You take that e-collar off and they're back to, getting in mischief and everything. It has nothing to do with the training. It has nothing to do with you guys practicing. It has nothing to do with Scout. It's just nature,
Yeah.
If we see something that if we can get away with, we're gonna take advantage of that,
Well, I noticed that with him even now, like I had him outside, I was gardening outside and he was being great. So he was staying near me and I was keeping an eye on him. And then my phone rang. And so then I answered the phone and literally like he knew that I was going to be on the phone and he took off. Like it was like he looked like it was like, oh, she's distracted right now. And I was like, little son of a gun. Like it was crazy how much he like predicted me and then, took off.
Dogs will catch on very quickly. They'll know. So that's e-collar. Miss anything?
So you train basically how you guys operate, like, so, you like, I would invest in the e-collar, right? And then you would teach me how to train with him with it on, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have a few programs. We have
Mhm.
in-person training where I coach you through everything. I don't touch the dog. You're doing all the work from the ground up. You see you know, how to handle certain situations. You're doing all of it. You're seeing all of it, so you know how to do it. We have the daycare and train, where you would bring Scout to our facility for a daycare day. You know, he gets to play with dogs. Um, we have treadmills, we have placemats to practice duration work, and we teach everything in one day. We videotape everything, all the introductory sessions. He goes home, you watch them, you bring him the next Wednesday. We do a little more work, and then when you've acquired enough knowledge in the videos, you can start practicing. And then we'll do like a 1 week with him, and then you practice, and then you come for that second week, and then we'll advance, and then we have a follow up. So then the follow up is like, hey, I've been practicing, he's doing really great, but then we're having issue with this, and we'll cover that with you.
Okay.
And then it's just a regular daycare day. You pick him up at the end of the day, you drop him off in the morning, and then we also have board and train. The board and train is you leave him for a like 1 week, and he's here overnight boarding. Same ordeal. We videotape everything, so you're seeing how he takes the e-collar and how we teach it. He gets to play with the dogs. He gets training walks. He can go, we take the dogs to Home Depot. Everything's filmed. You get to watch, and then you get a lot of follow up. So some issues with the other trainers is that what we've been hearing from a client is that they train the dog, and they're like, here, he knows this, and then bye, good luck. And then they're like, okay, like that's where they struggle, So you get a lot of follow up and a lot of hours, so that we have to transfer everything to you. So that's another thing, a con for daycare and boarding. That's a con because the training is tied to the handlers, right?
Right.
The collar is very transferable. So for example, when we work with couples and we work with like whoever goes first, right? They do all the hard work, blah, 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 blah. And then they hand the dog off to the other partner. They do it. And then it's like they didn't have to do anything because it's so transferable. It's so easy. It's the press of a button. So for example, like if your kid is, let's say like not as strong, like with the prong collar, right? But then like, you're stronger. So like he listens to you, but not the kids. You don't get the issue because a 15, when you press it is the same thing if, your daughter were to press 15. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's more consistent. I get it. Yeah.
So those are the programs we have. The pros for in person is that you're doing everything, you're seeing everything, you're practicing. Con is it takes a little longer. So we give you one topic a week to practice, so we're not overloading you with information. The pros for daycare and boarding, we get it done faster. The con is it's tied to us, but we just do the follow-ups for you. And then you're also not really seeing or doing the work. You get a finished product, yes, but you're kind of left lacking information in a little corner. It's nothing that will like ruin the training or like affect greatly. But if you just sometimes you might come across something and you're like, whoa, I don't know what to do here, and that's where the follow-up comes in.
So when you're doing the in-person, like, so I think I saw on your website that you do it at Oz Park, or is that right? Okay, because we live near there. Nice. So let's say we wanted to do an Oz Park thing. Is it like I go meet with you guys for an hour or two? Like, how does it work? Like, how does the training with you guys work?
Yeah, so it's an hour for one class a week. So let's say you choose like a program, let's say for like 9 weeks. Every hour, like say every Monday at 5 p.m. at Oz Park, So if you have 6 classes, those are reserved for you. That's your time.
Okay.
It's 6 classes, like so 6 slots, right? Time slots plus 1 in case you need to cancel or kind of like, if you can't make it or something happens, you have one secure slot in our availability in our calendar.
Yeah.
Once you've used that slot, you would have to wait until there's more availability after the other clients. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So here's my timing wise, just trying to figure out which thing to go with. So we like leave to go up to Wisconsin like June 15th, say. So like that's in like 5 weeks. So can anything be done in 5 weeks before we go up? So because I kind of want to get some stuff done before we bring them up to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Is that too quick?
No, I mean, it just depends when you get the e-collar, when you, because after this, so it goes, you sign up for the consultation, right? You sign up for the consultation, you send an invoice, we get you scheduled. After this consultation, I send a follow-up email with everything I've talked about, programs and everything, just to confirm what you're wanting. And then I also send a agreement form thing. Once we confirm what you're wanting, you sign the form. I start the billing process. Once the billing process is complete, then we move on to scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's obviously, once you get the e-collar, is when we can usually just start. Availability wise, I'm more available than Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're wanting to start soon and fast, your best bet is to stick with me. And I go from basic obedience to leash reactivity, to some behavioral issues. So I can get you guys in fast. But like I said, it's just as soon as you guys, get the e-collar, really, that's where it depends on.
And how much are those e-collars, just out of curiosity?
They range, like, I think the one you might get is like around $200.
Okay.
We also sell them.
Okay.
We get them on Amazon. But I'll send the link for the Amazon if you want to buy it from Amazon, or like I said, we sell them as well here.
Is there, depending on the size of the dog, does it change, like which one you buy?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Scout would probably get the 16 pounds, so he's probably gonna get the, like, wait, can I see him real quick again? Like,
Yeah. Come here, buddy. Sorry, he's got an iPad. Gets around. He's like, here. Put him, yeah. There we go. Like that.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get the little guy collar. They come in sizes too, so like the little ones will be smaller, so it's not like a big box for, like, the Great Danes have the big boxes, so it's not gonna be like just a box. It's a little smaller one. And then we also go based on like the breed, what we're kind of dealing with. So like pit bulls, for example, they're smaller, right? The big boy collars, like, I think it's 80 pounds and over. But since the breed is such an intense breed, we need that power. And if they're having some issues like aggression or whatever, like, if we have another dog that's aggression, we want that power in case, because we don't want to be in a position where, like, okay, we need more power because we're not.
And we don't have it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But for Scout,
he's more on the. He's definitely not aggressive, and he's got a very sweet personality. I think he's more like alpha, a little strong-willed, maybe stubborn, but not, he's never mean or growling, that kind of stuff. He's not like that.
Okay.
He's very sweet.
Yeah, he looks mean though. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he's a guard dog. Yes.
But yeah, for your program, what I'm thinking is, because it goes like, or are you leaning more towards in person then?
Well, I mean, I think I'm just trying to think, like, if I want to make sure that I know what I'm supposed to be doing. And am I like really going to watch the videos as much as if I'm there, will I, you know what I mean? Like if I'm with you and we're working on it, you got me. Right. But then if you're like, okay, Stacey, go home and watch these videos, I'd be like, okay, honey, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just not as, I mean, not that I wouldn't do it. I watched videos the first time when we did that. We watched them. So I'm open to it. I guess I was trying to think, like, what would be the most efficient, the most efficient, effective way of doing it. And, I'll put the time in. And then also, so it's basically, so we have 6 kids, but I had 4 boys and 2 girls. And so the girls and I are the ones that are really like, we've all figured this out, but the boys are going to have to learn it too. So we're going to have to teach them as well. But the primary caretakers are 3 of us.
Sure.
So, yeah. So I based on what I'm telling you, like, what do you think would be the best way to go?
I always go for in person. We make more money if we do daycare and train and board and train, actually, but we always think about what is going to be best for the client, um, and what will just be more efficient. And like you said, there's like more understanding for them, because we'll do these follow-ups. Some, like, you'll get here and there, you'll get a client that just doesn't really do the homework. They're just kind of like, okay, and then you'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
hopefully they're good, and we don't know, but then we'll
Yeah.
get those daycare clients, who are 100% dedicated. They show, we see it here when they bring them to daycare. We're like, okay, like, this dog's just perfect. They're practicing. They're very happy. They do the follow-ups. It just depends. Like, if you do the homework, you're gonna be solid. But in my experience, what I've seen in person is they're more satisfied. They're more knowledgeable. They know how to handle situations. Because then, we'll get a situation where, like, what if you're watching a video and and you think of a question like, what about this? Like, you can send me an emails, obviously, but like,
Right.
stuff will pop up, and then, like, in person, like, we talk about it, and you're doing everything. Like, your girls will do everything as well, and then it's just, in my opinion, I like in person, and also, I mean, we can do our follow-ups at Oz too. There's nothing wrong with it. But Oz Park is like the busiest park ever, especially in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So if we can train a dog at Oz Park, you can practically train a dog anywhere,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. No, it does. It does. And I guess just thinking like, I come back and forth to the city too. So if I had to like do follow-ups with you, through the course of summer, I can bring Scout back and do that. As I'm kind of looking down the barrel of summer, that's why I reached out. I reached out to you guys. I guess Jesse knows some people that, like, friends of mine that go to that Treves Park, right by like Clifton. And is that what? Yeah, is that how you say it? I don't know. Travis, whatever. Yeah, I know. I'm not trying to pronounce it. But so Chuck McElvain actually gave me your name, and I don't know if you guys trained his dog Archer or not, or just his other dog friends at the park. Okay. But that's how I got your name, and Jesse's name, I guess, from those friends. And so, yeah. So I guess my point is like, to get started, so basically there's an hourly fee. Like, tell me what I'm looking at price wise and all that kind of stuff too. I mean, I can look on your website, but I didn't really understand what I was looking at. That's why I wasn't sure.
Yeah. So, let me see. So I know that for sure, let me see.
Is it like by the hour?
I think it's per class.
Okay.
So the 6-week session, I know for a fact, is a grand.
Okay.
This consultation will be credited towards that.
And is it just me and you in the session?
Yeah, it's just going to be me and you.
Okay.
And whoever else will be, like you said, like, if your daughter's going to be the main caretakers, like, it'd be best if they're present as well.
Yeah.
We can rotate. We take turns and everything. I coach you through everything. So if you were to choose, like, so the 6-week program is more like, and this is in person.
Yeah.
The 6-week program is more like, I take my dog for a walk to the dog park, and I need my dog to come off leash when called.
Mm-hmm.
The 9-week is that same thing, and then I also go to restaurants. Then the 12-week is the off leash hike. So I'm thinking like 9-week or 6-week, if you're, depending on what you choose. So like the 9-week would be more stationary control. So like the trifecta is like follow me, stay there, and then come to me. That's like the trifecta. Those are the commands you need.
Okay.
The 9-week dives into more obedience and more control. And then you also get that nice, if like, it's for the 9-week is like, if you say down for Scout, he used to be down in that position until you say whatever else, like break or sit or whatever. So it just depends on what you're wanting.
I'm thinking just with our schedule that maybe the 6 week, because even with that, we're gonna be bumping up against like when we would leave. So maybe is it possible to be like, if I did, like, say we started next week, I don't know if you know if you're available. Let's pretend we did. Actually, let me look at my calendar. What is that like? How many weeks do we have here before? I'm just wondering if we can even get 6 weeks in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, actually it is 6 weeks almost. Like, would you ever do two classes in 1 week to try to get it in, or like could we just like if I couldn't do 6 consecutive weeks, I guess is my point. Could I then schedule my 6th week? Yeah.
So for the 6-week program, the first 2 classes, it's heal part 1, heal part 2.
Okay.
Then we go recall part 1, recall part 2. And then you have 2 right here, right?
Yeah.
So I can give you the stationary command, the down, so that you can practice at restaurants. And then you have 1 class here where we can maybe do a little like long leash work, practice like getting him used to the long leash and like, because there's phases to off leash, right? There's the short leash and long leash, long leash dragging, and then no leash enclosed area, and then no leash unenclosed area.
Okay.
So if, the 9-week is like, the first 2 classes is heal, then it's recall, so that's 4 classes. Then it's like a stationary command, so like place, then it's stay, then it's like, you have, so this is 6, 7, 8. Yeah. You have 3 classes left, so it can be like, more long leash stuff. It's just extra. And if you're not looking for extra, I recommend the 6th week.
Yeah.
Doing 2 classes in 1 week. I don't see an issue with it. I would have to talk to Jesse just to see what he says or whatever. But I don't see an issue with it, because it could be like, because like I said, you have an extra class where we can do whatever. So that class could be either just pushed back and we come back and we, how was your trip? How was he in Wisconsin, right?
Wisconsin, right?
How was he in Wisconsin? Like, what did you have trouble? Is there something you want to address? And then like, because you can save these classes, like you can like, we did heal, recall, he knows down. We have 1 class left. Let's just save it till like we need it,
Yeah.
So
I think that sounds actually like a really good plan. Yeah, so I would do the 6-week, the in-person, and hopefully, and what's your like schedule like? When do you do this? What time of day? Like, is your typical schedule, like, does it change day by day?
I prefer to have sessions on Sundays.
Okay.
If not Sundays, I have a client right now who's on Tuesdays, 6:30 to 7:30, and then before them, it's a 5:30 to 6:30. So if needed, we can do during the week. I think it'd be more like towards like the evening. We can also do like Thursdays, because my Thursdays are open. It'd be like 1 to 2.
So here's what I'm thinking, because with the kids' sports schedules, sometimes Sundays, like I'm driving, like Romeoville or whatever, and I never know what the schedule is till like the Thursday before. So my kids are in school, in person in school, but I'm thinking that, the girls, if I get the information, like I'm just even thinking if I get started with you, like a Thursday 1 to 2, don't you think that's what I should do? Unless
don't you have school?
You have school. Do you have anything after, they get out of school? What time do you get out of school? 2:15.
Yeah.
Like, would there be any way on because Thursday you don't have anything, right?
Yeah.
Thursday at like 3:00. Do you have that available? Like 3 to 4.
I'd have to double check, so the reason why I prefer Sundays and early in the days, because here I'm the training facility manager, so I handle all the videos. I have to keep track of what's going on with dogs, and then once it hits like 4 or 5, I gotta do transportation. So I gotta drop off these dogs. So
Mm-hmm.
is trying to think. I'll look into it. But I think I don't see an issue if we were to do like Thursdays, or is it only Thursdays you're available for the week?
No, the other days are, hold on, where is it? Wait a second. The other day, what days? You have, this is Monday, Tuesdays. But Tuesdays you're busy.
Yeah. How's
Well,
it?
actually, no, you could do Monday or Wednesday earlier, right?
Yeah, because we don't start till
Till
7.
later. Yes, that's within their volleyball schedule. So actually, any like Monday through Thursday, like 3:00 ish, because they get home by like 2:45, right? So we could be at Oz Park by 3.
Okay. Yeah, I'll look into it. I'll send you an email, the follow up. So the follow up email will probably be tomorrow, and I'll send what I can do during the week. Because I just have to double check because we also lost an employee, so it's just kind of like kind of all over the place now with what we're doing. So I'll double check, but there's nothing. It's not like I can't do the weekdays, so it should be easy.
Okay.
I got to.
So yeah, we could do any day, like Monday through Thursday, 3:00 on.
Okay.
They have volleyball at like 6:00, so we have to. Right, it's in 6:00.
7:00.
I'll change this. Yeah, so maybe by 7:00. So anyway, between 3 and 6, I guess we could do it.
Okay, yeah. And then sometimes on Mondays, Mondays seem to be kind of slower transportation wise.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, Mondays would be great for us.
yeah, it probably be like a 5:30, 6:30. I'm assuming, because that's like when my drop offs will end. Because the drop offs on Mondays start earlier, so like at 4. So then I'm usually done like by 5:30. So
you couldn't do it for, okay, I see what you're saying. So they have volleyball on Monday nights. That's the only reason why I'm saying no. So like it wouldn't be at like 3:00 on a Monday. No.
I can double check. I can arrange something to just have someone transport dogs for me. But yeah, we can dive into availability through the
Okay.
emails.
Okay.
And then if it's too much like going back and forth, I could just give you a call.
Yeah.
We just figure it out over the phone quickly. But yeah, I'll look into it. So I'll send availability, prices,
e-collar,
6 week. What else? I think that's all. Any questions about like e-collar or the training in general?
I don't think so. I mean, well, I guess the only question I have is like, as far as it sounds like e-collar, depending on what the command is, like you could pretty much train your dog to do anything with an e-collar, right? Like to do or not do anything.
So e-collar is a motivator. It's
right.
It can be used to correct behaviors.
So like barking, like if they're barking at something and you want them to stop, that kind of stuff. I'm just trying to think of things that have been in, like that we've tried different things. And
yeah, so there's so there's behavior and obedience. They're both separate. So to kind of break it down, like for us, it's like school and morality. So like English, science, math, whatever. That's like school, and then we have morality, like don't steal, don't yell, don't all these bad, don't lie, don't cheat, Yeah. And for dogs, it's like the school and the obedience is sit down, stay place, The knowing how to be a smart student has nothing to do with what kind of person you are, morality wise.
Right.
Same thing for dogs, like the sit command won't help the barking, It's a distraction, it's a band-aid, but they're not connected. So obedience is like sit down, stay place. Behaviors, don't bark, don't jump, don't bite, don't growl, don't whine, So e-collar can do both, but you have to know that to separate the two and to not create like a band-aid or something else for the dog to do if the dog like barks or something. And then for correcting, we also have control and elimination. So if you want to, because sometimes people like, not people, dog owners like the security when a dog barks, right? 1 second.
Yeah. It's gonna be a new sheriff in town, mister.
So elimination and control. So owners sometimes like the barking because it's security. It offers a little. I'm just picturing a little scout scaring off like a burglar going barking through the window. But sometimes owners like it because it's security. Some owners, so they want to control it, right? So they want the barking, but when they need it to stop, it's done. So they bark, 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 bark. Okay, he keeps on going enough, and then they stop. That's control. Now, elimination is that we just get rid of the barking in general. So if he's barking, instead of applying a word, it's just correcting. So for example, it'd be, bark, 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 enough, apply the correction, which is the e-collar. And then that means that Scout will keep barking until he hears the word enough, not the e-collar. Now, if we want to eliminate it, bark, 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 we use the e-collar, know where it's set, that's just an action, and there's a consequence. So then that's just the result of that. There's no second chance or just giving the dog a chance to kind of stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, e-collar is a motivator. It does a lot of things, stops behaviors, creates behaviors. You could use it for barking. You can use it for, recall. You can use it it also boosts confidence since it's a physical feeling. When puppies are born, mothers will literally like toughen the puppies up by like playing with them and like biting them, toughen them up, so they're not sensitive or fearful when they're growing up. So it's the same thing here. We're toughening up Scout and just making him a more confident dog in general. Does answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely.
Anything else?
Girls, do you have any questions? No? Okay.
I'm trying to think common questions people ask. And if Scout, is a goofball, sometimes owners are worried, like, will it change my dog? Will my dog be, depressed or, different? We've never seen it. That first few weeks, Scout might be a little stressed out because e-collar is a stressor. So, for example, if a dog has never been under stress and the owner has never seen their dog under stress, and all of a sudden we start the training, and then the dog starts to show signs of stress like anxiety. Or, it's not that the e-collar made your dog anxious; it's that your dog was always anxious. We're now seeing it because there's a stressor involved with this picture. So there might be first few days he might be a little like kind of like, I don't want the collar on, but as you keep exposing him, pump him like, hey, we're going to go outside. You take the e-collar out, food, and then you keep making it upbeat and not being very like, hey buddy, like, I know I got to put this on, I'm sorry, and being very, like matching his energy. So when we're putting e-collars on dogs, like our personal dogs, we whip it out, they hear the little like dingle dingle or like the little bell or whatever, and they start wiggling because they know e-collar means they get to do the off-leash stuff and have fun and everything.
Okay.
It's just acclimating to the collar. And Scout will still be Scout at the end of the training. Might be a little chilled out, might be a little calmer, but there's nothing wrong with having a calm dog. There's no, it's not like he's gonna be sad or anything. Calmness, because it does dial dogs down a lot if they're overstimulated. It's just giving them something to focus on and a job to do. Any other questions?
No, I think that all sounds good. So you send me the email with all that stuff.
Yes.
And
Bye, Andy.
and if we can get it figured out, I'd like to get started right away.
Oh yeah. You said you walk him on a regular collar, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, when we start, you just need the e-collar, leash, a regular leash, and then the regular collar. And then whoever's going to be working with Scout would I recommend being there for the first, at least the first 2 classes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else? Any other questions?
I don't think so. Yeah.
Cool. So I'll send the follow-up most likely tomorrow. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
And do you have those e-collars in stock? Or I can get it on Amazon too, but I just to get them quickly. I'm just wondering.
We have them in stock. So
Okay.
if you want to purchase.
Is it cheaper to do it through Amazon, or do you guys offer it at the same price?
So it's the same price.
Okay.
If you buy through us for the first 30 days, I believe, if something happens to it, we handle it. We go to Daycare, we do all the work, and then we borrow you a collar in case something happens.
Okay.
If after those 30 days something happens, you would have to contact Daycare, but we can still borrow you a collar if needed.
Okay.
What else?
Well, let's plan on doing that then. That sounds good.
You want to buy it from us?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So then I think I probably would just bring it to that first class for you, or I'll see what can be done if you can get it earlier, because just so you can kind of get familiar with it before we start.
Yeah.
So it's not just so like, oh, what's all that? You know,
Well,
what I mean?
can swing by and get it too. You guys, where are you located? Where's your facility again?
We're off Western. The address is 2700 North Campbell Avenue. On Western, we're right by the movie theater.
Oh yeah, I know exactly where you are. Yeah,
And
yeah.
right here is Maplewood, the brewery.
Okay, and like you're near Windy City Fieldhouse too, right? Isn't that kind of right near there?
I'm not
like
I'm
Diversity. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like Diversity. And yeah, it's right there. Okay, good. All right, will you send me the email? Is there anything else that we need to know?
No, I think I got everything. If anything pops up on your end, feel free to email me and I'll answer any questions. But other than that, keep a lookout for that email, the follow-up email. Sometimes it'll go to spam, so check your spam if it's not popping up. But it should be sent out like by tomorrow morning. But other than that, real quick, we have payment plans.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
If you're interested in payment plan or in paying a full, let me know in the follow-up. I'll lay out what the payment plan looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And you choose, it depends on what I have to send out. But I'm just a heads up on that. And then I think that is all.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Enrique. I really appreciate it.
Of course,
And
it was speaking to you, nice meeting Scout and the whole half the family.
Yeah, exactly. Great. Perfect. All right. Well, I'll look for the email and then we'll go from there.
Awesome. Have a good night.
Yeah. Thank you. You too. All right. Great. Bye-bye.